designed for elementary education majors. They have to take 2 math classes in order to graduate, and I suppose they can take more, particularly if they pick math as a concentration. But this is the first course in the sequence of 2. Basically, it deals with number systems, you know, all the way through whole numbers, integers, fractions, so on. And I had 31 in the class, and it was not a small group. We were in a STEM classroom, which was really nice before Gage shut down. And basically, I, unlike the other 2, did not embrace the idea. I was very nervous about, well, I don't want to be in front of that, very nervous about the experience because I really didn't feel equipped to do anything other than teach mathematics. I've never taken a special ed course. I've never taken an ESL course. Back when I became certified 28 years ago, you didn't have to take those kinds of courses to be certified. However, you learn things along the way. You know, I've worked in schools that have had a lot of special ed and ESL students, so you learn to adapt, you learn to try things. But in the end, I was nervous. I was really nervous. And I thought, well, maybe she'll just not take the class. You know, maybe something will happen. And no, it didn't. She didn't arrive the first day of class. And it's so funny because when she arrived, Kylie kind of was alongside her and came in, and all of a sudden I did like one of these gasps, and I went, oh, I think this is going to be okay. Like for some reason, seeing Kylie said, okay, this girl's going to be serious, she's going to be a real student, and she really cares about her education. I don't know why I thought that. But, so I was, you know, trying to be the diligent teacher. I had a little front row center seat for her, ready to go, to have her, you know, be comfortable, so when she came in, she knew right where to sit. And not the first day, we changed classrooms. So then she had to reacclimate to a new setting. And I know that everyone else thinks, you go from room 214 to some other room. It's really not like that. You know, she has to learn a path because, as I didn't know, and these are all things that have just been so amazing for me to just figure out because I've been very lucky not to have any issue that I don't have a sound issue, I don't have a sight issue. So I've been very spoiled in thinking, well, everybody should just adapt and figure it out and it'll be fine. But she has to learn her path because she has to lead Kylie where to go. I always thought it was the dog leading the non-sighted person. Not so. So there's so many things that I've learned along the way, and I do agree so much with what both of you have said, but asking is how I found out so much of the information. It's just being interested, I'm not trying to get that back to you, just being interested in her life and how it works and what it's like to learn a different way. And I think it was just I had to be humble because I knew nothing, absolutely nothing, and I really learned it all from Mary Abby. Kylie, I have to give Kylie credit to, and also Christine Wilson was really helpful in just helping me think outside the box of how was I going to use manipulatives we already use for math class because it is a tactile class, so that part was good. The downside was a lot of our tactile pieces, like these are colored discs. One side is yellow, one side is red. There's no difference between them. There's no shape difference. There's no size difference. So when I say, well, use the red side, the yellow side, there's no meaning behind that for Mary Abby. So I had to really start to think about, well, what are we going to do? Well, at first I was like, geez, I have no idea. I don't know what to do. And in the end, there was a board called the Tactile Drawing Board, which I really felt really assisted us in so many ways in how to make this work. And of course, I'm not going to find the sheet I want. Where did I leave it? Oh, over here. So instead of using color, which we clearly could not do, we often use the colored discs for things like adding and subtracting integers. So in a simple illustration, if the red discs are positive numbers and the yellow discs are negative numbers, then what students usually do is they team up. The whole objective is to team up the red and the yellow to make 0. So a positive number and a negative number will make 0. So this will make 0, that's gone. This will make 0, that's gone, and you'll be left with 2 red. That's the basic idea. And of course, since we didn't have that option, what we ended up doing in a similar scenario was to use the tactile drawing board. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to get a feel for this. I don't think you're going to be able to see this very well. But what she was able to do was to use, it's not going to be very visible from here, sorry. They're basically, it's a flat, clear sheet that you lock onto a board, and then you use a pen, and it bubbles up almost like, I call it Etch-a-Sketch, you know, back from when some of us were kids, meets puff paint. It's like when you write, it kind of raises up. So she can kind of feel that there are these circles, and she matches them up. She creates the idea where there's not color, but there's shape and there's size and there's matching. So everything we did was like that, where we tried to find what we were already doing and just find a way to make it adaptable for her. Because the first thing she said when she walked in was, I want to be a teacher of the blind. I need to become an elementary teacher to do that. And I want to be treated like everybody else. She was very clear about that. We met regularly after class, and she helped me understand what I could do to make it easier for her to be part of the class. I didn't always succeed. I'm not going to say it was always, you know, some of the things she mentioned about making sure she had everything ahead of time, that was like 90% true. But there were times where I forgot, I did an additional handout that I really wanted to go over. I didn't send it to her early enough that she could do the jaw. You know, she had just a sound that will screen read her visual papers, and she can listen to it. And I didn't send it to her soon enough, things like that. There are little glitches in the system. But the great thing about having Mary Abby particularly, which I don't know that all students would be as flexible and adaptable as she was, but she used humor a lot to just say, hey, you know what? So it didn't work out this time, we'll do it right next time. But you know, she had a great sense of humor in making me feel more at ease in being incompetent to serve her well in the beginning. I think by the end of the semester, we got much more in tune and comfortable, but I think I would have done it better now than I did then, let's put it that way.